Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I am going to share 21 healthy habits for 2021 that are hopefully going to help you up-level your life so that you can lead a more conscious, aligned, healthy lifestyle. So let's just get right into it. My first healthy habit is to cultivate a meditation practice. Cultivating a meditation practice has been so incredibly powerful for me, and I know that it can be for you too. I know that the thought of meditating can sometimes feel a little bit intimidating, but it's actually a lot more accessible than you think. Implementing a daily meditation practice can help you build skills to manage your stress better. It can help you increase self-awareness, help you focus on the present more, and help you reduce negative emotions. Meditating daily can also help increase your imagination and creativity, patience and tolerance, and it can also help you gain a new perspective on stressful situations. Meditation is a subject that I cover pretty in depth in my 12-week program, the Yoga Inspired Life program, which if you'd like more information on that, the link for that is down in the description box below. But I want to invite you to just start with a couple of minutes a day. It's totally doable, and I'm all about simplifying this practice. It doesn't have to be what you envision a meditation practice to be, right? Like 20 to 30 minutes on your meditation cushion, humming with chimes and birds and complete silence. That's just not realistic. Start with 3 minutes a day. You can do 3 minutes a day. Make it easy for yourself. Right when you wake up in the morning, sit up in bed. You don't even have to get up out of bed. You don't even have to change out of your pajamas. You can simply just sit up in bed, set the timer on your phone for 3 minutes, and sit with yourself for a few moments. Allow the thoughts as they come in, because they're gonna come in, to just float by like clouds in the sky. The idea here is not to eliminate all thoughts. The idea here is to simply separate yourself from the thoughts and become aware. And you just redirect your awareness back to your breath, right? Away from the thoughts, back to the breath as many times as you need to. My next healthy habit is to start a yoga practice. Are you surprised that this is one of my healthy habits? Guys, yoga has completely changed my life. Like, wow. And if you're not practicing already, I highly suggest that you do. I have tons of free yoga flows on my YouTube channel, which I will link in the description box below for you as well. But yoga is just an incredible opportunity for you to connect with your body and your breath, and for you to really go on a journey of self-discovery. Yoga is not about the shapes and poses. It's about the way that you carry yourself to and from each pose and shape. And I feel like yoga has allowed me to not just build a stronger connection with my physical body, but also with my energetic body, with my soul, my spirit. We are energetic beings, and being connected to our energy is incredibly powerful, not just within a yoga practice, but even outside of that container in everyday life. My next healthy habit is to clean as you go. I know this might sound kind of random, but I oftentimes get asked how my house is always so clean. And the truth is that I clean as I go. When I'm finished using something, I try to put it right back where it goes so that I don't end up with a mess later on. There's nothing worse than being in a space that is disorganized and chaotic. It's nearly impossible, in my opinion, to feel grounded and calm amidst a shit ton of chaos. So clean as you go. Even something as small as doing the dishes at night before you go to bed is gonna help set you up for a great morning, because when you wake up and you come out to your kitchen and it's a hot mess and there's dishes all in the sink, it's like, ugh, you gotta start the day cleaning. But if you do the dishes before, the night before, and you wake up to a clean kitchen that's pristine and organized and put away, you're able to really start the day with a fresh start. Speaking of cleaning, make your bed every day. I know this sounds like such a small thing that you might not think has anything to do with your level of productivity or your quality of life, but it really does make a huge difference. Making the bed in the morning not only allows you to create a space that is put together, neat and tidy, which feels good, like we just talked about, it also signifies to your brain that you're getting up and you're starting the day. And it's also a little productivity hack. When you make your bed first thing in the morning, you've already accomplished something. And that in itself will give you a small sense of pride, and it will encourage you do to continue taking off your tasks and having a productive day. My next tip is to manage your light hygiene. I actually have an entire podcast episode on my podcast, the Yoga Inspired Life podcast, all about optimizing light to improve your health. I will link that in the description box below. But using red lights at night is an absolute game changer. You got to get rid of your bright yellow, white LED lights and put red bulbs in your lamps by your bed. And I'm going to tell you why. A study in the Journal of Athletic Training found that 30 minutes of red light improved sleep and melatonin levels. And some other research suggests that red light therapy at night may also help you wake up more alert and ready for the day. So this is touching on the science of the circadian rhythm. We live in a world right now that is lit up with tons of fake lighting all day long, and that has an effect on your brain, on your body, and on your hormones. And all of those things affect your quality of life. So switching to red lights after a certain time, for me, I don't turn on my overhead lights. I have recessed lighting in my apartment. I don't turn those lights on after 6:30 p.m. I just don't. They're too stimulating, they keep me wired, and it's really hard for me to fall asleep. So after 6:30, it's red lights only. I'm sure my apartment might look like a brothel from the street because it's like complete red lights, but you know what? We gotta do what we gotta do. And managing your light hygiene is a huge, major healthy habit that I hope that you're gonna implement in 2021. My next tip is to drink more water. Guys, I know we all know the benefits of drinking water, but for some reason, we still don't drink enough water. Our bodies are made up of 70% water, and it's really important that we replenish that water throughout the day. A good rule of thumb is that you should be drinking half of your body weight in ounces of water per day. Drinking an adequate amount of water may help improve memory and mood. It can help reduce sugar cravings and aid in weight management. It also helps improve exercise performance, reduces headaches and migraines. It's good for your immune system and your mood and all of the things. Guys, you gotta be drinking more water. Tip number 7 is to consciously consume. And what I mean by that is I think it's really important for you to start to become more aware of the media and music and books and TV that you're consuming, because all of it has a huge effect on how you experience this life. If you're sitting on your phone all day, scrolling through TikTok or Instagram and consuming little snippets of everybody else's life, it's not only taking away time from your precious life, but it's also just not productive. It's okay sometimes. And look, I'm not gonna sit here and lie and say that I don't get stuck in a black hole on TikTok and scroll for hours on end. It happens sometimes, I know. But it's time for us to become more mindful about when we're doing that and setting some boundaries around that, because life is meant to be lived. So just be mindful about what you're consuming and what messages you're taking in. I'm not trying to be militant about it, okay? I definitely watch things and listen to crime podcasts and all sorts of things that are kind of heavy and dark, but I do think it's really important to pay attention to what you're consuming because it does have an effect on you. So just be mindful about it. My next tip is to eat more vegetables, and I'm sure that you're not surprised that I'm sharing this one either, given the fact that I'm plant-based, but come on guys, we gotta eat more veggies. There are so many benefits to eating a plant-based diet, but eating a diet that is heavier in plants improves the health of your gut so you're able to better absorb nutrients from the food that you're eating that's gonna help support your immune system and reduce inflammation. Fiber can lower cholesterol and stabilize blood sugar, and it's great for bowel management. I know people are always like, oh, when I eat tons of vegetables or fiber, I'm really gassy, or I'm going to the bathroom a lot, but that's the point, guys. Fiber is important. You gotta eat more fiber. Tip number 9 is to give yourself micro breaks throughout the day. And this is something that I've recently incorporated into my daily routine, and it has made such a huge difference. I feel like it's not talked about that much. Taking time to check in with yourself, taking a break, gathering your thoughts, breathing intentionally. This is super important, especially now that a lot of us are working from home and we're under a lot of stress and pressure given the current climate of our world. And it's important for you to take time to connect with yourself. Great ways to connect with yourself would be in your meditation practice or in your yoga practice. You can also unplug from your devices, go for a walk outside, or just sit down and breathe and be with yourself, but allow yourself to be. This is really important. We are energetic beings, and much like other things that are made up of energy and that are plugged into electrical sockets and moving and doing things, we gotta unplug them sometimes, right? Energetic things work better when we unplug them every now and then. Hit the restart button. So it's important for you to do that for yourself too. Speaking of ways to connect with yourself, another great way to do that is through my next tip, and that is to cultivate a pranayama practice. Pranayama in yoga refers to the regulation of the breath through certain practices and exercises. The word pranayama consists of two parts, prana and ayama. Prana means life force and ayama means to stretch out or to extend. Our breath is the bridge between our body and our minds. Our breath, our prana, is truly our life force. Pranayama is an incredible way to detoxify the body, clear energetic blockages, calm the mind, oxygenate the body, and calm the central nervous system. Pranayama is also one of the most beneficial and effective practices to decrease anxiety, stress, and depression. There are so many different ways to practice pranayama, many of which I cover in my 12-week program, the Yoga Inspired Life program, but simply just taking time to breathe intentionally and also just sitting with your breath and noticing the breath is a powerful way to start this practice. My next tip is to unplug from your devices at least 60 minutes before bedtime. I know this is so hard. I know. Trust me, I know. But it's gonna make a major difference in your quality of sleep. And your quality of sleep has a major effect on your quality of life, but more on sleep later. The blue light emitted from your cell phone screen restrains the production of melatonin, which is the hormone that controls your sleep-wake cycle, aka your circadian rhythm. We talked about this a little bit before when I mentioned using red lights at night. So red light is basically the opposite of blue light, which is why we want to start to incorporate more red light at night and decrease your blue light consumption in the evening. Exposing yourself to excessive blue light close to the time that you're trying to go to bed can make it more difficult for you to fall asleep and ultimately wake up the next day. Studies also show that exposure to blue light can cause damage to your retinas long term. So log off of TikTok, get off Instagram at least an hour before bed, crack open a book, and allow yourself to naturally wind down. Speaking of light, my next tip is to let natural light be the first light that you expose yourself to in the morning. No getting on Instagram first thing, no popping on your artificial overhead lights. And I actually mean going even beyond just opening your curtains, but opening your curtains is a great thing. I mean, get outside, no sunglasses, no filter on your eyes, get outside and absorb the natural light first thing in the morning. This is gonna help you reset your circadian rhythm. It's gonna help your hormones function properly. And I'm telling you, it's gonna increase your overall quality of life. It's gonna help you optimize your days, optimize your mornings, and just overall feel better, which is the goal, right? My next tip is a productivity tip. Stick to a top 5 priority list when it comes to planning out your tasks for the day. Now, if you're anything like me, we like to do or attempt to do a million things in one day, but that's just it's not feasible. And also, life is just not meant for us to be slaves to our to-do lists, okay? Pick your top 5 priorities and stick with that. It can be incredibly overwhelming when you're looking at a 5-page long to-do list that has tons of tasks on it. That in itself can become paralyzing because you look at the entire list and you're like, where am I even supposed to start? And then you end up getting nothing done, which kind of defeats the whole purpose. Stick with 5 tasks. I have a daily productivity checklist that I use each day, and I go on my overall big to-do list, right? My 5-page one with all my tasks, and I pick my top 5. I write those down on my daily productivity checklist, and then I put my overall big, massive to-do list away, and I just focus on the 5 tasks for the day. Once I get those 5 tasks done, if I still feel like I have more energy and time and I want to take on some more tasks, then I go back to my big list. Otherwise, if I hit my 5th task and I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm tired, that's it. Game over. Stick to 5 tasks. I'm telling you, this is a major productivity hack, and it's gonna help you increase your overall productivity. It's also gonna help you get more done. My next tip is to journal. Journaling is an amazing practice that can help you keep your thoughts organized, improve your writing, and help you get into the vibe of expressing yourself. Not only is it a great way for you to kind of keep track of your life and happenings in your life and how you're feeling, which is fun sometimes to reflect back on, but it's also just a great way to alleviate some of the stress and pressure that can come along with holding things in and not expressing them or getting them out on paper. Journaling is also a great way to relieve stress. It's also a great opportunity for you to self-reflect, boost your memory, and inspire creativity. Even if you just jot down a few lines first first thing in the morning or right before bed, it can become a really powerful practice for you to release, reflect, and also manifest, because you can write down the things that you want to call into your life. My next tip is to cultivate a gratitude practice. I actually have an entire podcast episode all about gratitude on my podcast, which is called the Yoga Inspired Life Podcast. I think it's episode 15, but I will link it in the description box below for you. But gratitude is an incredibly high vibrational, powerful state to be in. And there have even been studies that show that specific areas of the brain are involved in experiencing and expressing gratitude. An attitude of gratitude breeds abundance. And when you get grateful about all the things that you do have and all of the things that you are, you're able to raise your vibration, which is going to allow you to attract more things to be grateful for. Also, life is just more fun when you're feeling the high vibes, you know? There's a lot of different ways that you can practice gratitude. I go over a few of them in that podcast episode, so definitely give that a listen. But my favorites are journaling, which is my last tip. Jot down a few things that you're grateful for each morning. That really does make a big difference, and it's gonna raise your vibration, which is gonna put you in a really powerful, energetic space so that you can manifest and create the life of your dreams. My next tip could possibly be deemed slightly morbid, but I think it's really important and really powerful. And that is to be aware on the daily of your impermanence. We, as we are in this lifetime, are impermanent. Everything in this world is impermanent. And I think that by becoming more regularly aware of your impermanence, you're able to feel more inspired to take the leap, do the thing, seize the day, and make the most of the time that you have, and make the most of everything that you are and everything that you have right now in this moment. Let the reality of your impermanence inspire you on a moment-to-moment basis. The truth is, you're never gonna get this time back. You're never gonna be as young as you are right now. And that, while it can bring up some feelings of anxiety, that's definitely not what I want you to do. I don't want you to focus on that, but I want that to inspire you to do the damn thing. Whatever the thing is for you that you're holding off doing, do it now. Make this a major priority in your life in 2021. Remember that time is passing, and it really does pass quite quickly. No more wasting time. Do the thing that lights you up. Let your impermanence inspire you each and every day. My next tip is to identify your limiting beliefs and then make a plan of action to combat them. Limiting beliefs is something that I cover in depth in my 12-week self-discovery program, the Yoga Inspired Life. So again, if you're interested in learning more about this, definitely click the link in the description box below to learn more about this program and join the waitlist. But plain and simply, self-doubt feeds off of limiting beliefs. So if we want to overcome self-doubt and really create a super aligned, conscious life, we've got to get to the root of what's holding us back. And oftentimes that's our limiting beliefs. Limiting beliefs are a set of beliefs that we have about ourselves which constrain us in some way. Some are conscious and some are not so conscious. But regardless, just by believing them, we do not think, do, or say the things that they inhibit. And in doing so, we impoverish our lives. These beliefs can stem from our cultural background, organized religion, the education system, childhood experiences, the media, parents, friends, and even someone seemingly insignificant that you might encounter regularly. Limiting beliefs attach to you without conscious thought, and they will bury their way deep in your psyche, going unnoticed until you become aware that there's a block in your life and you begin to get curious. So rather than waiting for the avalanche, rather than waiting till you hit that wall, rather than waiting till you feel blocked, let's get curious right now. A great way for you to start to explore your limiting beliefs is to sit down and think of where you're feeling stuck in your life and simply just start to get curious. An example would be a few years ago, before I started doing what I'm doing now, I was doing bottle service and I was really unhappy. I wanted to do more in my life and I wanted to create a career, but I had a limiting belief that I couldn't do more because I didn't go to college, I didn't have a degree, and I wasn't smart enough. So before I got into all of that, I sat down and I asked myself, what's stopping me from creating a really successful, abundant, fulfilling career for myself? Through just a few cycles of me asking myself that, why, getting curious, I was able to come up with the limiting belief that I held on to about this, which was that I'm not smart enough because I didn't go to college and I don't have a degree, and I'm not worthy because I'm not smart enough, and so on and so forth. So just by getting curious and asking yourself why to the things that you feel like you're kind of stuck in your life, you can really quite easily start to identify your limiting beliefs. And then as far as creating an action plan to combat them and overcome those limiting beliefs, I think that becoming aware of them is a really powerful step. So simply just doing this exercise and journaling out your limiting beliefs and those things that you might be repressing and thinking about but not wanting to express, that's really powerful. And then beyond that, taking those limiting beliefs and kind of flipping the script and rewriting the story that you're telling yourself is a super powerful tool to help you overcome your limiting beliefs. For example, when I discovered that limiting belief for myself was that I didn't feel smart enough or worthy, the way that I was able to flip the script was any time that I caught myself telling myself that I wasn't smart enough or worthy, I had a new story that I would tell myself, which was, I am smart and capable and worthy of creating a fulfilling and abundant career for myself. And with time and practice and repetition and repeating that new story and kind of stopping the old story in its tracks, I was really able to overcome those limiting beliefs that were holding me back for so long. Speaking of mindfulness, my next healthy habit is to start to implement affirmations. Affirmations are sentences aimed to affect the conscious and the subconscious mind so that in turn they affect our behavior and thinking patterns. Using affirmations can motivate you to act. They can help you concentrate on your goals and even change your negative thought patterns into positive ones, kind of just like what we were talking about with limiting beliefs. Affirmations can also influence your subconscious mind to help you access new beliefs and help you feel positive about yourself and boost your self-confidence. I think the most powerful affirmations are the ones that you create on your own based on your limiting beliefs, which is why I think it's important to first identify your limiting beliefs so that you can use those to inspire your affirmations. As far as implementing your affirmations into your daily wellness practice, I love to write mine down on Post-its and I put them around my mirrors or around my house in places that I'm gonna see them, which if you guys were at my apartment right now, if you were to open one of my cabinets, there's a couple inside the cabinet. If you go in my bathroom and open up the medicine cabinet, there's a few more in there. If you go in my room, on my mirror, there's a few on my mirror. I like to have them all around the house. I even have one as my iPhone background. And anytime I see them, it's just a trigger to remind me to repeat my positive affirmation. And the affirmations themselves don't necessarily change anything, but you continuously and consistently speaking this truth to yourself will start to believe it over time, and you'll start to embody and encompass the highest version of yourself, which is ultimately inspired by these affirmations that you're setting. Habit number 19 is to connect with a loved one daily. I know with social media and the day and age that we're in, it feels like we are connecting with our friends and family on the regular because we see their Instagram feed or their Facebook post, but there is nothing that replaces giving a loved one a phone call or even writing a letter. I've made it a point to dedicate my afternoon walk, which is usually around 12 o'clock, to call a loved one. I either call up my mom or a friend and I catch up while I'm outside taking a walk, and it's just such a powerful time for me to check in with somebody that I love and hear their voice and give myself that time to strengthen the relationship with someone that I really care about. Life is not about money. It's not about the work that you do, and it's not about the things that you own. Life is about the relationships that we have with other people, and it's incredibly powerful to foster relationships with people who are important to us, and taking time to invest your time and energy into these meaningful relationships is going to help you create stronger bonds with the people that you love. My next healthy habit is to prioritize sleep and rest, says the girl who really struggles with prioritizing sleep and rest. Do as I say, not as I do. All jokes aside, I have really been making it a huge priority in my life to prioritize sleep and rest more because it is super important. If you're not resting and sleeping enough, well, a lack of sleep is gonna affect your health in a seriously negative way. We need sleep. Just on a surface level, not getting enough sleep and rest is gonna lead you right to burnout, and burnout isn't cute. I have a whole podcast episode all about burnout, but burnout basically is a state of emotional, physical, and mental exhaustion caused by excessive and prolonged stress, which oftentimes comes with excessive and prolonged doing with no rest in between. Burnout occurs when you feel overwhelmed, emotionally drained, and unable to meet constant demands. I think step one in prioritizing sleep and rest is to untie your self-worth from your level of productivity. The next thing I would say is to do a self-check-in. Check in with yourself when you feel yourself kind of spiraling out of control or doing more, and really ask yourself, am I doing this out of habitual pressure and the need to do more, or am I doing this with intention because it feels good and I have the energy for it? I also think when it comes to burnout and a lack of sleep and rest, I think it's really powerful for you to identify what's causing you the most stress and see if there's a solution to minimize that. There's no gold medal that you're gonna get for overachieving and running yourself into the ground. I know it might feel noble in the moment, but again, burnout isn't cute. I know it's hard for those of us that are overachievers by nature, but the truth is that you're not gonna be able to do your best quality work or come up with your next big idea if you're exhausted and running on 2 hours of sleep every night. That's just gonna age you faster, it's gonna slow down your brain, and it's just gonna make you sick. So prioritizing sleep and rest should have been tip number one, if I'm gonna be honest. I personally have been aiming to get at least 7.5 to 8 hours of sleep every night. And as far as resting, by 5:30 or 6 p.m. latest, no more work. I'm walking the dogs, I'm getting dinner ready, I'm winding down, I'm putting on a movie, or I'm listening to a podcast or something like that, but I'm definitely not working because I need to give myself time and space to relax, decompress, and begin to wind down. My last healthy habit is to stop saying yes to things that don't bring you joy. Now, I know this is easier said than done, but if we're thinking about our impermanence, then we also can't help but think about the limited amount of time that we are given here on Earth. And I know it's easy to get caught up in the rat race of rent and bills and work and doing for other people and all the things that we have to do. And I know that those are all very real stresses. Trust me, I have supported myself fully financially since I moved out at 19. So I get it. I had no one helping me out. I understand that's incredibly stressful. However, life is not all about saying yes to everyone and selling yourself and your energy for a paycheck. There is a way to live a conscious, healthy, fulfilling life where you can support yourself fully in a healthy, meaningful way. And that's gonna start with you identifying your limiting beliefs, believing that you're worth more, and saying yes to more things that bring you joy and saying no to the things that aren't filling you up. Even on like a smaller level, if getting on that Zoom birthday is not going to make you feel good, don't say yes. Or if taking on that extra task at work is not gonna fill you up, don't say yes. You know, it's just about getting more mindful about the things that make you feel good and doing more of those things and not doing the other shit. Again, I know it's easier said than done, but I threw this one in here to kind of inspire you to start to just become a little more mindful and aware of where you're spending your energy, because your energy, you gotta think of it like currency, like money. And when you start to look at it that way, you'll start to better manage where you're spending it. All right, guys, that is it for today. I hope you enjoyed today's video. I hope you enjoyed the 21 healthy habits for 2021. If you did, please give this video a thumbs up. Make sure you're subscribed because I upload new videos every Thursday and Sunday, and I will see you in my next video.